Hey, what's going on everyone? Appreciate y'all coming here and checking out this Fallout 76 video. In this one, I'm going to be going over 10 of the most interesting quests to me that were scrapped from the game. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into all of these. The first one that I'm going to be getting into, in case you don't know, Bethesda had plans to add pets in the game for us. I'm not exactly sure if Bethesda has plans to still release pets sometime in the future in Fallout 76, but how players became aware that they did have some kind of plans to release pets in the game for us was because of this Atomic Shop leak that happened years ago now. As you can see, some emotes were accidentally added into the Atomic Shop that labeled pet tricks. There was an emote to tell our pet to sit, an emote to tell our pet to speak, an emote to tell our pet to roll over, and an emote to tell our pet to play dead. How cool would this have been if we actually had got this in game? Unfortunately, Bethesda never added this in. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe there was some technical difficulties with this and they just scrapped the idea. Or maybe they still do have plans to add this sometime in the future. It just wasn't on their priority list at that time. But keep in mind, this was added accidentally in the Atomic Shop years ago. So it's hard to tell whether or not this is going to be a thing actually in the game at one point or another. But something else interesting that's in the game files are quests that involve pets. As you can see here, is actually a part of the daily cut quest. There was going to be a hoofing quest with our pet, which is basically just a quest that was going to be adventuring with our pet, and there was also a daily quest that involved hunting with our pet too. But yeah, unfortunately we never got these two quests, or let alone pets in general. But still, nonetheless, I thought that was really interesting and had to add it into this compilation. This next one I have for y'all involves Mow the Mole. Yeah, this guy right here was going to be a NPC in the game that had a quest involved with them, which the quest was going to be called Mow Dig Safety. Unfortunately, this was scrapped though. It would have been interesting though to run across this guy and be able to do a quest for him. But yeah, the quest that this guy was going to give us, Mow Dig Safety, was going to be about touring a location and killing a unique rad scorpion. As you can see, the quest stages were go to tour location, which he would have been located at Dolly Sod's Wilderness, and the next step would be to kill a large creature, which would have been a unique rad scorpion, and then, we'd probably go and return and talk to him saying we did it to complete the quest. Here's actually a bit of dialogue that was found in the files that this guy was going to say. As you can see, it states here, he would say this: "Hi kids, I'm Mow the Mole, and boy do I dig safety. Who here wants to go on an adventure? All of you? Great. Gather up your gear and let's head out to discover nature's most fantastic creatures. Next up on our tour of Appalachian wildlife is the adorable predatory arachnid known as the southern devil scorpion. We're headed to an area known to be heavily populated by the little pinchers, so be on the lookout. Scorpions may look tough on the outside, but deep down they just want a big hug, like all of us. If you see one, don't be afraid to pick it up and show it some love. Think of them as tiny, 8-legged, and venomous puppies. These charming fellas may look cute, but be careful. That venom-laced stinger on their back might accidentally graze you. There's many tales told around the Ranger campfire about Scorpy, a massive scorpion that some folks swear is over a foot long. Hope we see him. Wow, adventuring sure makes me thirsty. Maybe we can have our scorpion friends use their pincers to open an ice-cold bottle of Nuka-Cola. Remember, nature is wonderful but can also be dangerous. Always carry a firearm or two if you're wandering the wilderness without your parents. I heard that Scorpy once broke into the ranger station and ate all the cupcakes we saved for after the tour. Better hope they are still there, kids. If you find yourself in a scary situation, don't remain calm. Animals can sense your indifference. Don't worry about being prepared for the wild outdoors, kids. Smart campers think on their feet. So, yeah, as you see, he was going to be a goofy guy that we got to encounter in game. I have to say, this guy being in Fallout 76 would have been a nice comedic relief to run across in the wasteland. Not exactly sure why they decided to scrap him, but yeah, he's no longer a thing. I will say though, you can get his unique outfit. There's one location where you can find it at, and it's located over at Dolly Sod's Wilderness. Once over here, you'll just have to head into this large cabin that has these stairs leading up to it. And inside of here, you'll just have to head upstairs and pick this locked door that has a level 2 lock on it. Once inside this room, you'll find his outfit on the shelf here. Now keep in mind, this isn't the same exact outfit that Mow the Mole was supposed to be wearing. As you can see, his is in way better condition compared to this one. His is the pristine version. As you can see, this one is more damaged looking and bloodied up everywhere. A fun fact also about this outfit is you can find the quest that was cut on the back of it. As you can see, it states Mo Dig's safety. It seems like that was like his motto or something. But yeah, anyways, this next cut quest involves actually wearing this outfit. It's called the Suicide Run. What we'd have to do in this is find Ranger Burke's costume, which his costume was the Dirty Mo the Mole mascot suit. So I guess this was the one that he wore, and the pristine one someone else wore that was supposed to be acting out as Mo the Mole, which is the mascot for Dolly Sodd's Wilderness. It seems like there's multiple people as mascots for this place. But yeah, anyways, the next step after we put on the Dirty Mo the Mole mascot suit, we then have to listen to Barnes' last note holotape, and then after we got done listening to that, we'd have to deactivate 5 mines while being chased by 2 waves of mole rats. So it makes sense why his was all dirtied up compared to the other mascots. It is a completely different styled quest here. We're literally using this suit as protection against the explosives and the mole rats. And how I know that is because of Barnes' last note holotape. I'll go ahead and show y'all what this cut holotape said. As you can see here, Ranger Rory Barnes said, "It's those dang mole rats' fault. Hate the things. Buggers never stop coming. Park's never safe. Fight the varmints off every day. Bombs drop, and now I'm a glorified groundskeeper, you know? Make some improvised explosives, right? Kill them all, I'm thinking. No good. Trap's too touchy. One killed a visitor today. First visitor in months. Park's safety's my responsibility. Total failure. Have to disarm the mines. The Mo suit. Maybe it could shield me from a blast. Maybe not. I'll do what I have to. Park must be safe again." So yeah, that's a little bit of the lore on why this mole suit is so damaged up. The park ranger here was using it for protection against the mines and mole rats. Makes sense on why there's so much blood on it now. It seems like this might be stained mole rat blood that's all over it. But yeah, it didn't seem like that difficult of a quest to do, but it definitely would have been neat to experience having to actually wear something specific to do the quest, and it would have also helped more players discover this unique outfit. And to top it off, this quest would have helped explain why this outfit is damaged like it is, which we learned from the holotape. Anyways, this next interesting quest that I have for y'all that was cut is called Room Service, and it was given to us by a cut NPC robot called Bot Labai. What we would have had to do in this quest is obtain 6 items on Bot Labai's request and return them to the White Spring Resort. So yeah, it was pretty self-explanatory. He would give us a list of these special, unique quest items that we'd have to go and collect, which the items were unique junk items. The majority of these were cut from the game. Would have been cool if they would have kept these in here because they'd have been a nice addition for display cases. But yeah, we just have to retrieve these items for the robot. Pretty self-explanatory. What was most interesting about this quest though is the finale of it. As you can see, we would have access to the guest room for decluttering at the White Spring. So yeah, this quest would have granted us a White Spring Room 201 card all the way to the Room 206 card for the finale of it. We'd have to enter the normally locked guest rooms and return these items that we gathered. So yeah, we would have got to enter a whole bunch of different locked rooms that we've never got to enter at the White Spring Resort before. I'm not exactly sure where these guest rooms are located at. I know there are quite a bit though that we can find in the White Spring Resort that we can't gain access to. And there's a few locked doors outside at the cottages of the White Spring Resort. Then again, maybe they had plans to add these guest rooms somewhere else inside the building, because it does state within the cut keys for these specific keys in the game that the rooms are in the resort, as you can see. However, I didn't see any rooms that were labeled Room 201 to 206 at all. So that makes me think that they possibly had plans to add these guest rooms somewhere else in the White Spring Resort. However, I don't really know. After all, this was completely cut from the game. Either way, pretty interesting. I've always been curious about the locked rooms at the resort. But yeah, anyways, now let's go ahead and get into the next cut quest. This one was called Survival of the Fittest and was going to have a unique named boss for us to fight named Tiny. As you can see here, the quest stages for this one was enter the incineration room, and then Dr. Ladek, which was a cut Robo-Brain NPC, would say to us there is a final test to see that we can optimally survive out in the world. We'd then have to defeat the bloatflies, and then after defeating the bloatflies, we then have to defeat Tiny. As you can see, it states, I have dropped down into the incineration room and now must defeat Tiny. I'm not exactly sure what Tiny was supposed to be. I'm assuming a unique looking Wendigo, because at the picture below Survival of the Fittest, it shows Vault Boy shooting what seems to be a Wendigo. But yeah, anyways, after defeating Tiny, there'd be a few other quest steps that we had to do. We had to defend the terminal and then open the door to get out. So yeah, this seemed like a pretty fun quest to do, just because there was a unique named boss for us to take on, which I'm assuming was going to be a unique looking Wendigo. I wish there was, more boss fights in Fallout 76. I think that would really help spice up gameplay. But yeah, this was the finale quest for Dr. Ladex, and was the only quest that involved fighting a unique enemy out of its quest line. So I'm assuming Tiny was going to be decently difficult. Who knows, maybe Tiny was actually not Tiny and he was like a giant Wendigo that we'd have to fight or something. That'd be an awesome experience. Anyways, this next cut quest was also supposed to be a part of Wild Appalachia DLC, and this one was called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. As you can see, the quest would have been started by reading a warning poster, which would have led to a cut sentry bot NPC named Valentine, which he would have been located on a cliff in the Savage Divide near the Bailey family cabin. He then would have tasked the player with 2 different objectives. One of the objectives would have been finding a total of 5 of any of the following hearts from different creatures. These were cut content as well. We can't actually find any of the hearts, but yeah, we'd have to find like a Wendigo heart, a Grafton heart, Mirelurk Queen heart, Mothman heart, etc. Anyways, also we'd have to craft a total of 4 different gifts too, such as like a pretty floral bouquet, expensive perfume, Appalachia champagne, and nougat candy assortment. These were also cut from the game too, unfortunately. The rewards for doing his quest would have been like a plan for the pretty floral bouquet, a plan for the expensive perfume, and a recipe for Appalachia champagne. Gotta say, a pretty interesting quest nonetheless, and a lot of unique stuff came from this one. I wonder why the developers decided to scrap all of this. I wonder what the Valentine sentry bot would have looked like. I wonder if it would have been like pink with like hearts on it or something. It would have definitely been unique looking, I'm sure. Anyways, this next cut content was from this NPC that you could find in Watauga High School currently. As you can see, you could find this Robo-Brain in here named Vincent May Lilly. The developers had plans for this Robo-Brain to trigger an event quest called Magnum Opus. And here's a little bit of information over this event. It states here, Vincent May Lilly is a world-renowned artist that needs some help. It would say, you appear to be of the discerning and capable sort. I could use some assistance procuring supplies. Aren't you lucky to play a small role in the creation of my Magnum Opus? But do please be quick about it. I'm anxious to begin. We would then have to gather the supplies, and it states here, Vincent's unusual art supplies are randomly selected from the following items. We'd have to gather either a pencil, plunger, random chems, random weapons, fusion cores, or a mini nuke. We would have also been asked by Vincent to identify pictures. As you can see, it states he would say, and one final question, if you'll oblige me. One of these is mine. The other 2 are imitations. Can you tell the true work of art form from the rubbish? It also states here, it would have said, have a look at these. Both heralded by critics as true Vincent May Lilly masterpieces. The one from my younger impertinent years, the other just prior to the accident, rendering me as the brain in a can standing before you. Let me ask you, which do you prefer? So yeah, in case you came across this NPC in Watauga High School and was wondering about it, this is what the developers' plans were with it. Alright, so the next cut quest I'm going to be getting into is a really interesting one called Lockdown. We would have been able to gain access to Vault 94, Vault 96, and Vault 63 at the launch of the game. I will say we are now able to explore around in Vault 94 and Vault 96, however, we're still not able to access Vault 63. Pretty insane. But yeah, anyways, the walkthrough for this cut quest called Lockdown, as you can see, states after finding Haley's corpse on Vault Tech University grounds and listening to her holotape, the player would be directed to investigate her terminal inside of the school's training room. Her goal to uncover the secret behind a laser grid within the school is left to us, who would obtain 3 security access holotapes held by the overseer of Vault 63, Vault 94, and Vault 96. After disabling each of the security safeguard terminals, the laser grid would be deactivated and the classified Vault Tech data archive would become accessible. So yeah, as you can see here are the exact quest steps for this. We'd have to investigate the corpse. While on the Vault Tech University grounds, we'd find a woman's corpse, which would be Haley, And yeah, after examining her corpse, we'd find the holotape. Once we find the holotape from her corpse, we then just listen to it and then understand what we'd have to do next, which is retrieve the overseer keys. As you can see, it states next to this step, I learned about a plan devised by a group of former Vault-Tec University students to gain access to a secret room in the school. To disable the laser grid blocking this area, I need to collect Overseer security access holotapes from the vaults in the region and use them on specific terminals. So we'd have to collect 3 of these that were blocking access to this secret room in the Vault-Tec University. So yeah, in case you're wondering about this ID card reader that's right outside of Vault 63's door, this was going to be used to open the vault door. But unfortunately, the key that it requires was cut, along with the quest that we would have done to get the key. But yeah, this quest was how we would have originally gained access to Vault 63, Vault 94, and Vault 96. Pretty interesting. I mean, we're still not able to gain access to Vault 63. I don't know when Bethesda has plans for us to go inside of here. But like I mentioned before, we are now able to gain access to Vault 96 and Vault 94 at least. But yeah, once we obtain the access holotapes from each of the vaults, we then go back to Vault-Tec University and disable each of the laser grid safeguards. And once we did that, we'd be able to gain access to the secret room and discover the data archives that were in there to complete the quest. Unfortunately though, all of this was cut. But yeah, a fun fact about this quest, as you see, it states the only fragment of the quest to make it into the game is an entry on Shelby O'Rourke's terminal at the Hunter's Shack, which the Hunter's Shack is located over here in the Mire region. Once over here at the shack, to find Haley's entry on Shelby's terminal, you'll just have to go to Journal, and then as you can see, entry number 7 states Eric plus Haley. This is the one that talks about Haley Porter. Here's what it states on the entry. Met a stranger today. Said his name was Eric. Looked about my age, but no real way of telling these days. He was pretty angry. Kept talking about some girl, Haley Porter, that broke his heart. He said they met at Vault-Tec University trying to find some big secret he figured the executives were hiding. I guess Andy wasn't the only one with theories. Sounds like Haley's still out there in Morgantown, but now she's on her own. I wished him luck, and he headed off. Probably never see that guy again. So yeah, apparently this is the only fragment of the quest to make it into the game. But yeah, anyways, this final cut quest I wanted to show you all is a daily faction quest. Bethesda actually had plans for us to have more daily faction quests, and these would have been very beneficial to help us increase our reputation for the Settlers and Raiders, because I gotta say, it takes forever to max their rep. As you see, this one specifically that I was going to go over is called Stewing Over Things. This was going to be a daily quest for the Settlers, and we would also unlock a unique recipe after doing this quest for the first time, called Sonny's Settler Stew. Not exactly sure what the benefits would have been for this stew. It doesn't say. It would have been handy though if it like gained us bonus XP or something, like how canned meat stew does. But yeah, anyways, here's how this quest would go. As you can see, it states, while being in the vicinity of Foundation, a radio broadcast by Sonny would have started the quest. The player would have then been tasked with finding the recipe for Sonny's Settler Stew, crafting a certain number of stews, and turning the stews in at the soup kitchen to conclude the quest. So yeah, this would have been another way we could increase our Settlers' reputation. I gotta say, I don't know why Bethesda decided to cut some of the extra daily quests we would have gotten, because that would have been really beneficial for us to get to max reputation for each of the factions. It would have saved us loads of time, because as you know, it takes forever to get to the max rep. It would have been nice if they kept some of the daily quests they had planned. But yeah, I guess that's all wrapping up this video, everybody. Hopefully you found this enjoyable and you learned something new from this. I'm out of here though, everyone. As always, thanks for taking the time, watching and listening. Until next time, peace.